It's great to be back after our fantastic Game Changers conference last week in New York. We had more than 600 leaders gather together, amazing energy and stories. It's one of my favorite events of the year. Also, breaking Sunday night, the headliner for the 2026 Super Bowl halftime show has been announced, and it's, yes, Bad Bunny. And this is your morning Buzzcast for Monday, September 29th. I'm Abe Madkour. One of the top stories of the weekend was the Ryder Cup. And yes, it seemed to be a big business hit, although the prices of tickets on the secondary market did drop during the event. But the biggest theme was one that many had feared, and that was fan behavior. And it isn't the look that the leaders in golf want. Rory McIlroy was a constant target of heckling at Bethpage Black. He called the fans' behavior unacceptable, saying, quote, "I don't think we should ever accept that in golf," end quote. McIlroy and other Europeans were insulted and heckled to the point that it caused delays and prompted the PGA of America to add extra security. Now, in my conversations leading up to the event, this was a concern of top golf leaders. You have a very emotional and spirited competition. You were in a major market. You were drawing Americans and Europeans. And yes, you have some fans that start drinking very early in the morning. So that can be a bad recipe, and it's too bad. That is the dominant storyline from a wild weekend of golf at Bethpage Black. Meanwhile, Major League Baseball had a tremendous finish. So many important critical games right up into the last day on Sunday. Going into the last weekend, no fewer than 6 teams all had must-win games. And in the end, baseball has some of its biggest markets involved in its postseason. We're talking about the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Cubs, the Red Sox, and the league begins its postseason on Tuesday with business momentum, and there are some positive stories around the game. Now, of course, that is balanced by concern surrounding the expiration of the CBA December 1st, 2026, and that will be a very challenging negotiation. But first, let's look at what Major League Baseball should feel very good about. Never overlook the fact that baseball drew more than 70 million fans for the third straight year. 70 million fans. That's a figure that I believe is never fully appreciated. Yes, there seems to be a trend away from volume and more towards special events. But if you speak with every corporate brand that spends money around baseball, they talk about the extensive season, the number of attendees, and the multiple touch points they can have with fans, and that makes baseball such an intriguing investment. Secondly, television viewership was up across the board, and that is something baseball's leaders should stress time and again. These are some of their strongest viewership numbers in years. And third, baseball has some data to counter its biggest knock on the sport, that it has an old fan base. Baseball's in-venue audience is getting younger. The average age of single-game ticket buyers on the primary market, 43 years old. That's down from 46 years old in 2023. So, those are positives which baseball should push in all of its talking points. But going forward, yes, it's all about what happens regarding labor, and we'll talk a lot about that in the days ahead. Let's stay with Major League Baseball because MLB released its top-selling jerseys. No surprise, Shohei Otani is atop of that leaderboard for the third consecutive season. Ohtani is the 4th player to go back to back in jersey sales since baseball began tracking this data 15 years ago. He joins Mookie Betts, Aaron Judge, and Derek Jeter. This list is based on sales since opening day. Ohtani's 1. Judge is number 2. There are 4 Dodgers in the top 20. Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, and Clayton Kershaw. That shows the appeal of that franchise. Let's go through the top 10 quickly. Ohtani, Judge, Freeman, Betts, Francisco Lindor, Juan Soto, Rafi Devers, Bryce Harper, Jose Altuve, and Fernando Tatis Jr. Those are the top 10 most popular player jerseys this season. Ohtani again leads the list. Let's shift to football. Global domination, or at least that's the intent, for the NFL continued as Ireland hosted Sunday's Steelers-Vikings game with just over 74,000 at Croke Park. That's in Dublin. Dublin became the fourth European city to host a regular season game, and they made a big deal out of it. We saw free fan events across Dublin, tailgate events, a watch party for those not at the venue. Now, it seemed to go well. There's no guarantee of a return to Dublin. The NFL will assess after this weekend to see if they return to that market. But the NFL will return to Brazil. The league announced it has made a multi-year commitment to play a minimum of 3 regular season games over 5 years in Rio de Janeiro starting next year. Remember, they had been playing at Sao Paulo, Brazil in both 24 and 25, so now they're going to Rio. In addition, we also know the NFL will play a game in Australia in 2026. That is the league's first time playing a game on that continent. So again, the NFL's global footprint continues to grow. Let's shift to Major League Soccer. Big news for the league as stadium development continues in 3 critical markets. The league has long wanted to find stadium solutions in Miami, Chicago, and New York, and they are moving forward with that. First, Inter Miami is building a very highly anticipated stadium that everyone is buzzing about. Number 2, we know the scale and scope of what NYCFC is doing for its new stadium right next to Citi Field. That should be tremendous. And now Chicago is moving forward with a new soccer-specific stadium as the Fire's owner, Joe Mansueto, has a plan for a 22,000-seat soccer stadium. It has been approved. Construction crews can now break ground on this. They hope to finish this venue by the 2028 season. This is a $650 million project, mostly privately financed. It has moved quickly. It was just announced in June, and here we are, late September, and construction will begin. So the bottom line, this is a huge development for Major League Soccer to get the Fire out of Soldier Field and into their own facility. So that would leave the Revolution in New England as really one of the only markets that is still seeking a stadium solution. But having new facilities in Miami, New York, and Chicago is a huge momentum builder for Major League Soccer. And let's stay with soccer. And one of the more interesting deals of the week last week, Walmart is getting deeper into the sport, and it sees it as a growth opportunity as it reached a partnership with La Liga. So what is Walmart doing here? They are clearly going after the soccer demographic. Could be around families, could be multicultural, but Walmart becomes the first presenting sponsor of La Liga's El Clásico. That's the rivalry between FC Barcelona and Real Madrid. You'll see a new logo. You'll see a lot of viewing parties, concerts, meet and greets, merchandise, retail promotions. So this is a multi-year deal and clearly a play by Walmart to tap into soccer fandom before the 2026 World Cup. So Walmart making a deep dive into soccer with its deal with La Liga. So 4 takeaways from today's Buzzcast are, number 1, fan behavior that can certainly haunt a sports event. And you saw that become a key storyline around the Ryder Cup at Bethpage Black. Number 2, the pieces are lined up for Major League Baseball to have a successful postseason with critical big markets playing in the playoffs. Number 3, I still get a sense that some industry insiders don't appreciate just how big a star Shohei Otani is. One data point, he is baseball's top-selling jersey for the 3rd consecutive season. Ohtani is that rare global draw so popular. And number 4, big brands are getting behind soccer before the World Cup. The latest being the top-ranked company in America, Walmart, doing a deal with La Liga. And so that is your morning Buzzcast for Monday, September 29th. I'm Abe Madkour. Thanks for listening. Stay healthy. Be good to each other. I'll speak to you tomorrow.